Hello and welcome to Conquering Mod Scrapper with Brenda. I'm Brenda and it's Free Pattern Friday! Yay! Free Pattern Friday. I love Free Pattern Friday. The block I'm going to show you today is called Which Way. Now basically this is a 4-patch, so this essentially here is one block and then you sew them together to make a larger block. But first let's get to our shout out here. Carolina Moore. Now Carolina Moore has a YouTube channel that I've been watching for quite a while and I have enjoyed her content very much. So you go to the show notes below. You have to get into those show notes, guys. There's all the cutting instructions, everything are in there. You'll find her YouTube link in those show notes, or the see more button, or more details, or whatever they're calling it on your device, right? So that's where you gotta go find. Now, we're also gonna find our Facebook group. We are having so much fun in there. You guys, if you're part of the Facebook community, you should come join because we're having a blast in there. Now, the other thing you're going to find in there is our Zoom sew dates. It's once a month, usually the first Saturday of the month, but from now until the end of December, we're having so much fun with those. We get a lot done that day, and you don't have to bring anything that I've shown you on the channel. You can bring your knitting, crochet, cross stitch, whatever. It's all good. The other thing is the Sew Yeah Brothers out of Vegas are having their charity drive for the homeless people in Alaska. Now, I'm not sure all the details, so go to their link that I have provided in those show notes so that you can find out more information if you want to participate in that, because it's such a lovely charity and they had so much fun last year doing that. Lastly is the community round robin that I'm being involved with. We're shooting this at the end of June, and the first block, which is my block, will drop July 9th. And I'm so excited about that. So guys, we're starting at July 9th. So put it on your calendars. And if this drops after July 9th, well, you know, you go back and find that video. Also, I talk for free to quilting guilds and quilting groups. My email address is in the About tab on my YouTube channel. So come on in. Let's get to this fun sewing here called Which Way. Okay, we're at the sewing machine, so we always start out with the hardest part first if we can. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this flying goose unit. It's not a true flying goose because it's elongated, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this off and we're going to fold one side and we're just going to line this up. It's kind of a cheater flying goose, right? We're going to line this up. Now I have got my sweet husband to iron this for me to make a little angle so it will go down nice and neat and straight. So I'm just going to kiss this side of the fold or the ironing mark, not this side. I want to have good coverage, but I don't want to be going over. Okay, so I want to do all of them like that. So basically what you do is you iron them in pairs, right? So there would be a pair. So it's going to fold on each side. And I'm just going to do the next one. Yeah, this is the hardest part of this block. And basically it's a flip and stitch with a little bit more fabric, that's all. There we go. And, ooh, that's wrong. Okay. There we go. There. Now, this would look great scrappy. I dropped one. Excuse my head. This would look great scrappy, and I wanted to use up all of this red scrap that I had, and I didn't have a lot of this heart print, the low volume heart print, so I figured, okay, we're gonna play with this and just move it out and be done. There we go. But like I say, this is one of those blocks that it's just, you could do, I think you could do this one. You could manage this one as a leader ender. Let's say you were making an entire quilt of, let's say, you know, red and white. You know, they wouldn't have to match, right? You just make it like all the red pieces scrappy and all the white pieces scrappy, and it would work. Okay. Now, let's get our piece off here. And we just cut. Now before we trim anything, we always want to make sure we have good coverage because that's important. Because on these flip and stitch is really important. So yes, we have good coverage, that's nice. So I put my thumbnail across the seam. This was what keeps me from cutting the wrong side, because ask me how I know that. So now we're just gonna lay those down. Check, yes, nice. Yeah. And just lay your thumbnail over it so that you're not cutting the wrong side. I learned a long time ago that can happen when you are tired. Yes, I got good coverage. And now we do the same for the other side. And we want to make sure, oops, let's see, yes. Okay, you want to make sure you have the same thing, but going the opposite way, right? Because you want to make pairs. Okay, now, let's see, where's one of these? So, you go like this. Now, if you put this on your block wrong, right? Let's say you put it like this. You're going to have something like that, right? So you don't want that. You want to make sure it's going to line up. You want to line this up best you can, and then sew the other direction. There's, you know, people get confused too when they're doing these, and that's why people don't like doing this. But once you learn a few tricks, it's not that hard. You know, it's not that hard to learn. Okay, so next one. Okay, line it up. Make sure it's going the right way. Yes, it is. Here we go. And put that down. Okay, I'm being a little bit lazy. I should be lifting my foot a bit to make sure that happens. There we go. Okay, next piece. Right, so I line this up just like so. That's the beauty of when you iron them in pairs, so you have opposing pairs, then you can see which way to iron them correctly. So it's kind of nice. Okay. Oh, there we go. What is the issue here now? Why is it wrinkling? Well, let's find out, because I'm not really keen on that, because my stitches are coming out. See, look, what is wrong? Okay, let's re-sew it now. We've got a good bit of tail here. Well, that's strange. Well, it just snapped. Okay, I'm going to cut here. Okay, so this is going like this. We finally got the sewing machine to sew correctly. This is sewing. This is sewing. Tension was out on the top, so nothing was coming through. No thread was coming through at all, so that was kind of scary. That's what made it ruffle. There. I'm hoping I don't have more problems with this machine. There. There we go. That looks okay. And I'm just going to trim off all this little extra thread here. Okay. So I'll run the plug through, because I don't have a leader ender project here. So now before I cut again, I want to make sure I have good coverage. Right? Oh, look at that. Okay, I'm going to have to cut again. I've got tension now issues, and I've got to figure out what's going on wrong with the bobbin. So I will be back. Okay, so that was exciting. My thread broke, and we had tension issues, and we had all sorts of things go wrong, and the bobbin area, and we changed machines. So we're back to sewing, because that's what happens. Sometimes sewing just takes on a new adventure, and you've got to be ready for it to... And it's very frustrating when your machine has tension issues. And this one has a totally different voice. Now we've oiled her and everything and hoping that she doesn't make everybody crazy, but we'll see. We'll see how this all goes. It should be fine. Okay, so we got some We got some squares. Yeah, I just had, we changed the thread even. Like, oh my gosh. We had thread, we changed the needle, we did everything. So, again, putting my thumbnail across. There we go. And, oops, let's go this away, right? There's only one hard part in this entire block. And yeah, it's been one of those days, so it's okay. It'll be okay. Everything's gonna be fine now. So we check to make sure, just to go back to where we were, check to make sure that all of this is working right. And, okay, got one more to go. There we go. Now, and this, yeah, we had tension issues. All the thread was just going crazy. You couldn't tell if it was the top or bottom, and just one thing after another. It was like, okay, this is not a happy time. So, the hard parts now are done. That's it. That's all the hard parts. That was not tough at all. Let me get this. Now I'm going to change feet. Because I prefer to sew straight lines like normal patchwork with a 1/4 inch foot that I found on Amazon. I try out several. They do start to wobble after a while, so you have to keep checking every once in a while. You have to check it to make sure it's still a good 1/4 inch. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to take up these bits. Instead of the red bits, there's a little red, a 1 inch bit on top. Now, this, you've seen this before on my channel. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this to the side for just half a second. I'm going to bring out a little cutting board. You know, this was my mom's cutting board. And we're just going to lie them all flat and line them up. And we're going to cut them. Just lining them all up, all 4 of them up. We can do all 4 at once. Now I had a bigger piece of this low volume. If I had smaller pieces of low volume, this would have been already cut. So now you want to, this is 6.5 by 4.5. Now you want to go 3 1/4, right? In, and then there's going to be 3 1/4 left. You're just going to make a long one single cut. There you go. And now, you're going to start piecing those little red strips. So I'm just going to move all of this out of the way because this is a small sewing room. It was like, there's too much stuff here, and I go a little crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them there. Now I'm going to take the first one, and I'm going to lay it down on top of the white. Now you want to press to the red on this block. You want to press to the dark. Okay. Okay, and the next one. Okay, there we go. And what this is going to do, it's not going to change the size of the block. Basically, all it's going to do is put a red stripe in there. And that's where that trick with that 1 inch, you can make stuff look a little more complex without really having to do a whole lot of work, right? So that's kind of a nice trick to know. And so essentially we made elongated flying geese, and we did the 1 inch trick, and then we're going to sew it all together and it'll look lovely. Okay. Oh, great. Okay, there we go. And we'll just pull off those. Oh. Press. I just finger press for this. But, I mean, you would take it over to your ironing station, finger press it, or, you know, finger press it first to make sure it's going the right, everything's going the right way. And then iron it, put a clapper on it. Make sure that red sits really flat. There. But I have nails that can cut through drywall, so finger pressing for me is quick enough to get it flat enough so I can sew it together. And that way you guys aren't watching me, you know, with an iron and a clapper and all this stuff. And it's important that we give our blocks a good press once they're done. There. Oh. It took longer messing with the machine and trying to figure out what was wrong with the tension than it did making the block. Oh well. At least I had another 301A to work with, so that was a good thing. So if you have like a bunch of elongated flying geese that you needed to use or make, that's a really good way of making them that way. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this lesson got a little discombobulated, but that's okay. There we go. There. Now, we take them and we turn them. So we want to press them this way, right? Take them, turn them, press them this way. You want the red to fold in on itself. And a really good test of your 1/4 inch foot, if you're using a 1/4 inch foot, is that there is no red. You can't see any red here, like along this line, once it's ironed out flat. So that will tell you whether or not your 1/4 inch is you know, working or not for you. So now we're just going to lay all this back, just like so. And of course, now here is our single block. That's our single block. Now when you make 4 of them, you can start playing around with directions and everything else. So now all I'm going to do, I'm going to put the flying geese unit on top, because it's the smaller piece. And I'm going to make sure I get nice flat. And I want to make sure that the red, as I'm going across it with the sewing machine, I want to make sure it's lying in on itself and it doesn't flip open, just to avoid that show through. Right, let's do that again, just like so. And I line them up, and then I let my feed dogs do the work, where everything is, you know, lining up. Once you get everything lined up, you let your feed dogs do the work. If one happens to be a little bit longer than the other, you let your feed dogs handle it. Okay. You don't want to sew them like that. That would be bad. You want to sew it like this. So yeah, you could make quite a few 6.5 inch blocks like this, you know, and it would all look really good. You know, you can make them as scrappy as you want. But it is because this one would make a good scrap buster. There. Okay, now line up this edge. Get everything lined up. Nice. Beautiful. There. Now, what we're going to do is assemble this. And just push everything this way, right? You just push this out like this. Yes, you'll get it better. You'll get it flatter when you iron it and everything. Now, we want to put it so that the first arrow here on the upper left points down, right? This just goes like that. Okay, and it goes in and then up. Then up and then in again. There. Now you don't have to match any points on this either. Yay! You can thank me now. So you don't have to match points. So now all you're going to do is you're going to flip it over and you're going to sew along this edge. And you'll take your first block, line it up. There we go. And line up the other end. And then ease them in together, right? Now you don't even have any weird stuff to look at here. Okay, there. clip that out of the way. And then you would sew this side here. Just like that. Now I found this Valentine's Day print, the one with the hearts. I thought, oh my goodness, that's too cute. And I don't know where I got it from. I didn't buy it, so it must have been a donation. But I thought, ooh, so nice. So nice. Okay, let's get another plug in there. Okay, now. Okay, just like that. Yes, all your arrows are going you're swirling to the left. When you're sewing this, you either make your arrows swirl to the left or swirl to the right. That is important, right? Okay, what I'm saying here. This is going counterclockwise. The other way would be going clockwise. So if you were making an entire quilt of this, all your blocks would have to go the same way. Otherwise, it would look funny. But, I mean, you can do whatever you want, too. If you want to just take it and do a 6-inch block of, everybody's got a different color, and you're not going to worry about who is what and where and all the rest of this, then yeah, you could have a lot of fun with this. Now, just because we have a peak here, I'm going to try and match it so that the peaks are going this way, the underneath peak is going this way. So, just so that it would lay a little hair a bit flatter. Okay, I've nested that joint in the middle. There we go. I'll show you how I sewed this together so you have an ironing plan as well. Just give me a sec. Now I'm going to match up the ends here. Make sure this one gets flipped the right way. And, yeah, coming in. There. Okay, now, just about at that big ta-da moment. Let me show you how I'm going to iron this. So you get an ironing plan. Okay. So, this is how the block goes. You can see the point of the goose is starting to push it this way. So you would want to open your seam up in the middle here so that the rest of this lies flat. And that's going to give you a little bit extra flatter block. At least it's going to lie flat in the middle. Now, you can also see some of my 1/4 inch isn't that great, right? Because you can see the red here, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So you'd want to, take your time when you're ironing this to make sure that it lays nice and flat. And, give your block, because there's empty spaces on the edge, right? Trim your block. If your block is a little bit too big because of this not being that perfect shut 1/4 inch, right? Trim your block down to 12.5 inches unfinished, and then it will finish at 12 inches in your quilt. Okay, so let's get to our ta-da moment. Okay, so here's our ta-da moment. This one was a lot of fun to come up with, and we did flying geese without really doing flying geese. We showed you yet another way of making a flying goose by using an elongated method. Plus we went and did the 1-inch trick not to change the side of the square. This one sews together really quick and lots of fun. You could make this as scrappy as you wanted, and it would just be a hoot to sit and sew. So I do hope you give this one a try. I hope you have an absolutely amazing week ahead, and life is gentle with you. Okay, you take care until we see each other again. Bye! Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. Share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!